Do you ever have trouble with your children not waiting their turn? This can happen during instructional time in homeschool, where it is vitally important that you get to everyone's lessons. I've got 3 options for you. First, you can use a visual timer to let a child know how much longer they have to wait until their turn. Number 2, you can sit next to the child that has a harder time waiting while you tend to the child that you need to be with, so that you can easily touch them or hug them or just have your leg next to theirs so that they feel the sense that you are there with them even though they're not getting the direct attention. Number 3, you can always use a reward system. This is one of my favorite things to do. You just have a jar in the middle of the table with puffballs or beads or whatever the children like. You add puffballs to the jar whenever you catch them waiting patiently for their turn. This can be done at random using a timer on your phone or just whenever you notice that you haven't been called or touched or bothered in a minute. The reward system typically needs a goal where at the end of filling the jar, the children get something that they've desired. This can be a small goal. It does not have to be a day at an amusement park. Think creatively. This can be a coupon to stay up 10 minutes later. This can be a 5 more minutes on the sprinklers under the trampoline situation. Or this can be an extra lap around the neighborhood if your kid loves going on walks. This next one seems to happen mostly with boys, but do you have a kid that can't walk past their sibling without bothering them in some form or fashion? The first idea I have is giving a jar of coins to each child in the family. And then when one child bothers another, 1 coin from their jar must go into the jar of the victim. When a child runs out of coins, they must pull from their personal piggy bank. A reward system also works for this type of behavior, where you have a jar of beads or puffballs and you add to it when you notice that it's been a minute since anyone has bothered anyone else. And then when the jar is full, your children get an extra surprise, like staying up later or watching an extra show. When my children kept leaving all the footrests up in the living room, I was going to lose my mind. So I decided to use a method I call Footrest Perpetrator. Anytime I saw that a footrest had been left up, I would add 1 letter to the name Footrest Perpetrator. If we got to the end of that name, the children had no idea what would happen, but they sure did not want to find out. This fixed my problem in a couple weeks, and we never got to the end of that name.